Hello, Professor. I made a mistake. Hold up. There we go. Now, I would like to take this time to go over the sources I used in both prompt 1 and prompt 2. Now, in prompt 1, the first source I used was on page 22 when Maya was a little confused as a child when the lifeguard told to put on a shirt. Now, this was at a time, it was when she was very young. It was very confusing to because would see all the other boys wearing shirts and get confused on why had to wear one while they didn't. While me personally, I never really had this dilemma because I kind of accepted the fact that I was a boy, and I understood from, I guess, just as a society as a whole, that girls would wear stuff that covered their entire body while boys kind of had that option. Now, the next source I chose was on page 122 when we see Maya seeing her gender identity kind of as a scale. This goes over Maya's struggle to kind of keep that scale balanced. That was her key thing, was finding balance on that scale. And this was another section where I was a little different. I didn't see it as that. I didn't really have a sort of idea for my gender identity. I just kind of knew that I was a male, he, him, and was content and accepted the fact that I was. I was very comfortable with who I am and what gender role I was born with. Now, the next source I have is just a few pages under, on page 125. So in this one, it gets a little personal for Maya. We see Maya going to get a pap smear at the doctor's office, and it's basically a traumatic experience for Maya. We see that she, in a sense, feels like the sense of reality came crashing down at her when that happened. And this was another experience where I kind of didn't experience this at all. You know, since I was born a male, I never really have to get a pap smear, and I can't relate to this in the slightest. I think that's where we were very different in that point. We didn't experience the same thing. The next one I used in prompt 1, or the last one I used, was on page 194. In this one, we see Maya coming out to as aunt and cousin, and we see them kind of just explaining, or Maya explaining on what pronouns I would like to use, and just trying to explain it to her family and kind of talk about how her parents would react once it came out about it. Now, in this one was another source where we kind of saw different. I knew I was a he, him. I never really had to have this talk with my parents because I knew what I was. And I guess the role model that really helped me, I guess, shape me who I am today was definitely my father. He was a great father, and he always is an amazing father. And I still look up to him to this day. And he's kind of the role model that shapes me who I am. Now, for the two online sources, or the two different sources for the second prompt, was from Tracy Brown. The title was "The Most Banned Book in America About Growing Up LGBTQ+ is Getting a New Expanded Edition." Now, the reason I chose this one was because it was for the third question. It was mainly that it wasn't mainly about the pornography or the nudity as being the main reason for the censorship or the banning of the book. It was kind of going over the, I guess, other people's ideologies. In this one, they talk about the right-wing activists, but overall, it's just people, I guess, just not really agreeing with it or understanding the queer and trans identity as a whole. So they're just censoring it, so they themselves or others close to them don't have to see this. So it's not really about the whole nudity or pornography thing. It's about kind of censoring ideas and different ideologies. And the next one I chose was by Matt Lavietz. And the title is Author of Genderqueer, one of most banned books in US addresses controversy. Now, in this one, we kind of see, if I can find it real quick, yes, right here. We kind of see a rebuttal to the idea of a type of media or source being banned because of the contents. Now, in this case, it was originally stated, right, or I guess the basic idea was that it was banned because of pornography or the different eroticism it displayed. And now this article goes over a different piece of art by Kobabe, which depicts, with a pottery cup depicting an erotic sketching of a courting scene. And this is on display, full public view for anyone to see at a museum in Oxford, England. And now, the reason for this is because we see a book getting banned for its pornography, for its nudity, for its eroticism. Those are the reasons. But why do we see this piece of art in a museum, public for anyone, any ages to see, right up there on display for everyone to see? It doesn't make sense. So that's the main rebuttal and the main reason I used that article. Thank you for listening to my reasoning, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday.